Vivek Vikram Singh joins us now, Managing Director and Group CEO with Sona BLW Precision Forgings. Good morning. Thank you for joining us. I'm going to start with a very basic question. Can you just share with us the big picture in terms of where demand and the OEM forecasting is likely to move for rest of the year?
So are you asking about the Indian market or the global market?
I'm talking about the global market because there are a lot of yes and no. 6 months ago, we were talking about supply chain issues. Now we are talking about demand getting challenged in the global market.
So, Nikunj, if you look at the last 3 years, it's been challenging pretty much every single quarter, every single time, right? We first started with COVID, then we had the Russia-Ukraine thing, semiconductor thing, and now we are talking about the demand crisis. Despite all this noise, every year through the last 3 years, we've grown by over 25%. I think some of these challenges are going to persist. And if something has been the trend for the last 3 years, I don't expect much to change. I think what we have to do on our own steam. We have to do on our own efforts and order book. I don't think there are any industry tailwinds yet for anybody.
So how does that, Vivek, spell into your numbers? Because as I understand, and please correct me if I'm wrong here, EVs contribute about 28% in your revenue with 77% of contribution in your current order book. How do these numbers stack up for the financial year? Do you see them growing?
So last year we grew about 26% year on year. So you're right. I think because we are in the segment of the industry that is growing, we have managed to grow far beyond the industry growth. I think that is the right way. And your question is actually fairly intelligent in that sense that in any broad, big industry, everything will not grow. What you as a player in the industry have to choose are the segments that you cater to are growing, are the markets you cater to are growing. I think because we cater to the fast-growing electrification trend, that is the biggest reason behind our growth. And you rightly said the order book, 77% of it is from electric vehicles. So we continue to have that growth. We don't give future guidance, but like I said, we've never been below 25% in the last 3 years that we've been sharing our results with the public. Even before that, I think our 22-year CAGR is above 30%. Even our last 7 years CAGR is about 30%. So yeah, we are fairly confident, but confident not because of industry trends, but because of our own efforts and our order book.
Okay. When you say there are no tailwinds in the industry, now that's a big comment coming from you. Why do you say that?
I was appointed CEO in February 2019. I've never seen any growth. So perhaps my view is colored by that in the last 4 years, if you look at the world, 2018, 96 million light vehicles were sold, right? Last year, I think it was south of 80. So we've seen almost a 20% drop in the global light vehicle sales. If you've seen only year-on-year decline, to say that have a reason that it will go back to 96, I don't see any big reason yet.
Dropping, then where things are headed for the business which you represent? Ultimately, you are an ancillary supplier, and for you to do well, the auto industry has to do well. Now, whether it is semiconductor problem in 2021 or a war, high inflation and war which impacted European demand in 2022, or perhaps regional banking crisis for American banks in 2023, every year there is one challenge or the other.
Correct. So you're right. I mean, then what is the point of having a management if everybody just grows with the industry? Then we might as well be run by ChatGPT, you know. We used to be 1,200 crores turnover when I took over. Last year we ended at 2670. So we more than doubled. I think when we IPO'd, I came on your show. I think immediately after that IPO, and I was asked that there are so many problems in the auto sector. How will you sustain growth? At that time, we were 1,560 crores. So we've done from there on about 70% growth in the last 2 years. Industry has not grown. So what you have to do is you have to launch new products. You have to mine market share into markets that you were not present. You have to grow your wallet share with customers, and you have to keep winning new business. Like I said, the industry is same for everybody, but what you do of your own steam is up to you. And like I said, we kind of demonstrated that in a declining industry, we have managed to grow every year by over 25%, and we're fairly confident we can continue on our growth journey. How much exactly, obviously, every year to year, like I said, we don't give future guidance, but yeah, we're fairly confident.
So you are growing, and that's great news. Can I say that you will continue to grow, and the minimum threshold now will be 25 to 30%, irrespective of what is happening in the world?
So that's been our minimum threshold so far for the last 8 years that I've been working here. Will it continue every year? Hard to predict. We don't know the future, and we don't claim to be macroeconomic experts. Even in the last 8 quarters that we've been listed, we've grown by 0 to 10% 2 times, 10 to 25 2 times, 25 to 50 2 times, and over 52 times. Like last quarter was, I think, our net profit grew by over 50%. So these things happen. Over the medium term, though, we expect that, yeah, we should be able to continue our current growth rate. When I say medium term, I mean 3 to 5 years.
Hypothetically, if I'm engaging in a similar conversation with you 3 years from now, I'm talking about 3 years now, what is the bare minimum we should expect from you?
Yeah, like I said, I mean, 3 to 5 years, we should continue with that growth rate. Again, we don't give future guidance. And the thing with the 3 year period is in 3 to 5, you will see it. Now, whether the third year is a year with a massive global recession, say. So you don't want to commit to a particular time or a particular year. But yeah, the trend or the trajectory is something we can manage. How we manage that is by winning new orders. As you know, in auto, you win orders quite far in advance. A car is not developed the next day or the next week. It will be launched 2 to 3 years out. So when you win today, what you're solving for is 3 years out. So whatever efforts we put in this year or the next year, we are actually working on 3 to 5 years.
Capacity utilization, if you're growing at 20%, 25%, your capacity utilization would be nearing its peak, I'm imagining.
Not really. I mean, we have been investing a lot in the last 3 years. So we are constantly investing. You're right that it is a business in which, again, I mean, this is what I just shared with you was just from our IPO. When I started working here in 2015, FY16, we were 350 crores. So we've grown almost 8 times. Of course, we've been investing in capacity all the time. We are very conservative on capacity, so we don't let it breach the 80-85% for any product category. And we are always investing. So over the next 3 years, I think we should be doing about 1,000 to 1,100 crores capex to grow our capacities.
Thank you. All right. Really appreciate your time, and so glad you could join us.
Thank you, Nikunj. Thank you, Aisha.